that guy yelling? That's creepy. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today is the 4th installment in my series of my makeup collection and also decluttering. I also want to shout out this jumper, which might be a total love or hate, and I'm calling it like granny chic. But I got this for $9.99, just this lovely cozy knitted jumper, and it looks really like the Zara one, and that's quite popular. But this was $9.99 on eBay, so if you want to grab a bargain, I'll link it below. It's awesome. But getting back into the makeup, let's talk about my entire collection of foundations, look through which ones I love, which ones I need to declutter, and also my concealers. And if the video is really short, which probably won't be because I seem to be unable to make a short video, I will include my face powders as well. So let's just get into it. So my first drawer of foundation looks like this. This is all high-end, I think. Yeah, it is. So let's just go through these. The first foundation I have here is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. Everyone knows about this, and I wear the shade 1C1 Cool Bone. I think I could potentially use 1C0, but when I went and bought this they didn't have any, so I just went with this, and I really like it. It's great coverage, it's nice. I'm not going to get rid of it, I'm going to keep that in my collection. Next up I have my two Kat Von D Lock-It foundations. These are in the shades Light 44 Cool, which you can see I've used a lot of, and Light 42 Natural, which you can see I haven't used a lot of. And I don't know if you can see the colour difference there, but this foundation, Light 42 Neutral, is almost white. It's incredible, and it's definitely going to be pale enough for the palest of people, and I think they do lighter shades than this. Light 44 Cool is what I'm wearing today, and it's a pretty good match, and I just love this foundation on my skin. I think it's so pretty. There's a horrendous close-up of my face. So I'm going to keep Light 44 Cool, and I will repurchase this when I run out, and I'm going to pass on Light 42 Neutral because this is just way too pale. Even in winter it's still too pale for me, which is a miracle, but I'm going to get rid of that one. Next up, two foundations I'm definitely never getting rid of is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting. I have two of these, both in shade number 2 Alabaster. I could probably get away with the shade lighter, but actually I quite like that this brings a bit of warmth to my face. This foundation is my holy grail, it's my ride or die, it is everything to me. Actually my sister put me onto it because she wears it, and it is just incredible. The coverage is phenomenal, it lasts all day. It's a foundation and concealer, so technically you could use it as a concealer as well. I find I do still have to use concealer with it under my eyes, but on my skin I don't. I swear down, this is the only foundation I have, even more than my Kat Von D and my Double Wear, that if I have a bright red spot will actually get rid of it. I mean, you'll still see that there's a spot there from the texture, but you certainly sorry, you certainly cannot see the colour. I love this foundation, I recommend it to everybody and their dog. This is only £25, which for a high-end foundation I think is really good price, and it lasts for ages. I think it's pretty much yeah, 30 mils, so standard. Next up I have the Wonderbrow Cover Proof Foundation. They actually sent this to me quite a while ago, and this is in the shade N20 Light, and it's way too dark for me. But when they first sent it to me I was kind of fake tanning, so I did use it a lot, and the coverage is great. I really liked it. It lasted a long time. It's a really nice foundation, but this one is just too dark for me, and it's pretty much empty now, so I will just declutter this. But I do like it and I do recommend it because it is a nice foundation. Next up, you might recognise this from my recent Get Ready With Me. This is the Huda Beauty Full Filter Foundation. Now this is in the shade Milkshake. I also have Vanilla, but Vanilla is currently in my makeup bag, so it's not in my drawers. So I'm going to declutter this one because it is way too light. It's very similar in lightness to the Kat Von D Light 42. So if you need a super pale foundation, Milkshake is again almost white. You'd be astounded by how pale it is. It's a nice foundation, I really like it. I haven't kind of ranked it in my top 10 yet because I'm just not sure, I need to wear it more. But it's nice, it's good coverage. It's the kind of foundation that when you put on you have to really buff it in all over the skin quite quickly, and don't put on too much because it gets quite cakey, but a little does go a long way. And you actually get 35 mils in this, which I quite like, that it's a bit bigger than your standard foundation. So I would recommend it if you want to try it. It's a nice foundation. I'm going to declutter this one and keep vanilla. Next up, I have 7 of the Anastasia Beverly Hills stick foundations. I've got tons of different shades in these. So I've got Alabaster, which is like the palest one. And if I compare that to the one that I wear on a regular basis, so this one's Alabaster, this one's Warm Ivory, so you can see the difference in tone with them. So I'm just going to go through the shades and see which ones I'm going to keep. So I'm definitely keeping Warm Ivory because that's my all over shade. But then I'm keeping Alabaster because I like that as a like cream highlight shade. Ivory, Warm Porcelain. Oh, I mean, to be honest, all of these shades match me in terms of I can make them all work. I'm going to get rid of Porcelain because I've already got Alabaster, which is very similar. I'm going to keep Warm Porcelain. Ivory, I will keep. I'm not decluttering a lot of them. What else do I have? I'm going to get rid of Banana Stick Foundation because yellow tones just don't work on my skin. Like, I can't use banana powders or anything. I'm going to get rid of Banana and then Warm Alabaster. I'll pop that off too. So I've decluttered 3 and I've kept 4. That's not so bad. I think that's pretty good. So this is my now decluttered first drawer. And by decluttering the drawers, it means I can kind of put them all in the same drawer. This is my second foundation drawer. Again, some high-end, but some drugstore in here as well. So let's first of all talk about the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation. I got this about, I don't know, 6 months, a year ago. It's nice. I don't like it, to be honest, that much. I would wear this more as a everyday light base. I wouldn't consider it good coverage. I don't think it lasts very well, but I like it in terms of it's as good as the Bourjois Healthy Mix foundation. So you're just paying a lot more money for something that seems quite like a drugstore foundation. I am going to declutter this because I very rarely reach for it. It's been lying on its side, so it looks kind of empty, but I think it must be about half full. So I'll pass this on to someone who will get use out of this shade. This is shade number 1, by the way. I'll just finish talking about my high-end ones, then we'll move on to drugstore because I do quite a lot of drugstore. So this is the MAC Pro Longwear. I wear the shade NC15. This is nice. Yeah, I've got nothing bad to say about it, but I've got no songs to sing its praises. It's fine. Again, it kind of feels like a drugstore foundation with a high-end price. I'm going to pass this on. Don't really reach for it. Next, I've got my Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. I've got the shade 1.5. This is nice. I'm going to hold on to it because it's really good coverage, and as you can see, I've used quite a lot of it. I wear it more in winter because it is such full coverage, and in winter I do like a nice full coverage base. With summer, you know, you like to be more kind of floaty and fresh, whereas winter, yeah, you know what I mean, I hope. If you're Scottish, you know what I mean. So I'm going to keep a hold of this because I do like this foundation. Really good coverage, lasts really well. So first up for drugstore, I've got the L'Oreal True Match. I cannot say enough good things about this. This is incredible. I wear the shade 1N Ivory. This is great. This is a really nice medium coverage with concealer and a nice powder. I would say it's full coverage. So it's really nice. Highly, highly recommend it. Quite cheap for a good foundation, and yeah, staying in my collection. Next, I have the Milani Conceal and Perfect. I wear the shade 00 Light Natural, which is still way too dark for me. I don't know how they think this is the palest shade of people you can get, but it's not. It's still quite dark. I don't really like this. I find it quite cakey. I don't think it settles on my skin nicely. Maybe it just doesn't work with my skin because I've heard a lot of people sing its praises. I'm going to pass this on because I never reach for it. Really, I wore it the other day and I didn't like my foundation, so yeah, I'm going to pass that on. Next up, this is quite a recent purchase for me. This is the Ordinary Serum Foundation. This is in the shade 1.2 YG. It's very yellow. I can make it work on my skin, it's just a bit more effort. It's nice. I'm definitely gonna try and get the coverage foundation, which seems to be out of stock everywhere. So if you can tell me where it's in stock to buy, I will buy it. But yeah, I can't find it right now. So the serum foundation, probably light to medium coverage. I'm going to keep it right now because I want to give it more tests and kind of wear it for a few days before I make up my final judgment on it. But it seems nice, and yeah, I'll keep it for now. Next up, another Drugstore foundation, and this is a Kiko Universal Fit. I have raved about this foundation in the past so much. If you're on the beauty group that I'm on, Mrs. Gloss and the Goss, I'll link it down below. I've recommended this to so many people. This has such nice coverage, it's dewy, it lasts well. It's just an incredible foundation, and I think it's about £6. I think Kiko's really underrated and people don't talk about them enough. But this is great. This is the shade Warm Beige 15, which is slightly too dark for me, but again, I can make it work. You know, making it work is as easy as making sure you cover your neck or wear like a polo neck and then no one can tell. But you know what I mean, you can make these things work. So I'm going to keep a hold of this because I absolutely love it and I can't recommend these enough, and again, so cheap. This is our sad little drawer, number 2. So moving on to our last drawer of foundations. So the first 2 I'll pick up because we just talked about them. It's another 2 Kiko Universal Fits, just in different shades. I picked up Cool Rose 20, which is again too dark because 15 is slightly too dark. And when I was on holiday in France last year, I picked up Warm Beige 40, which kind of suited me at the time because I had a tan. Now it's way too dark for me, but I actually like to mix it with things like my Urban Decay foundation just to deepen it up a little bit. So I'm going to keep a hold of the really dark one and pass on the medium dark one to someone else that will use it. Next up, I have 3 of the Maybelline Fit Me foundations. I think these are great drugstore foundations and they are so inexpensive. I'm going to keep shade 100 and 105 because they both suit me. I can make them work and I really like them. And I'm going to pass on 130, which is way too dark. And I bought this prior to going on holiday and I thought it would match me, and it doesn't. It looks ridiculous, it's so dark. So I'm going to pass that on. Yeah, I'm going to pass that on, but keep the other 2 because I really highly recommend this as a good, cheap, good foundation. Next up, one of my all-time loves. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24 Hour Matte. I wear the shade number 10. Perfect match. Absolutely adore this foundation. Long lasting, great coverage, amazing foundation. As good as a high-end product in a very cheap bottle. This is incredible. Highly recommend. Top 5 favourite foundations from the drugstore. On that same vein, we have the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover, which is CAC. This is awful foundation. I hate this. This is like a thick mousse. It's hard to blend. It doesn't cover. It feels oily. It's disgusting. And I'm going to get rid of it. Next up, I have a really trusty bottle of Rimmel Match Perfection. This stuff is a classic foundation. When I smell it, it just reminds me of being in high school. I do like it. I reach for it sometimes, occasionally. It's nice. It's got a medium coverage. It's got SPF in it, and it's very cheap. I wear the shade Light Porcelain, which matches me really well. I'm going to keep a hold of it until I've finished the bottle, because on days when I'm kind of not, you know, maybe doing a post for Instagram or a video or anything, I would just wear, you know, like a cheaper foundation. So I'm going to keep it for that, but it's nice. It's a nice foundation. I would recommend it. Next up, I have another kind of classic foundation that I think is really nice. This is the Max Factor Lasting Performance. I wear shade 100 Fair. I would say the coverage is very similar to the L'Oreal foundation, or probably my Kat Von D in terms of coverage. It's really nice. I love this foundation, and I don't think anyone really talks about it. It's just one of those like classic ones that's always been in the drugstore, but this is really nice and I really recommend it. I would say top 5 drugstore foundations as well, so that says something. Last up, I've got my Sleek Life Proof. This is in shade LP01. I also have LP02 and 03 in my makeup bag. I like this foundation. It's got really nice coverage. It seems to last well. I haven't kind of ranked it in my system yet because I'm not entirely sure, but it is a good coverage, medium. I wouldn't say full. And maybe if you build it up, you can get that full coverage. But it's sweat proof and oil free, so it's supposed to really kind of last through the day. And it does on me. It doesn't ever break down or anything, especially around my nose or where it tends to. So I do like this, and I would recommend it. It's very cheap. It's only like $5.99, so you might as well try it. I like it. Yeah, it's nice. So this is my third drawer of foundations decluttered. So what I'll do is I'll include my concealers. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and do that because I've only been filming for 15 minutes. So this is actually concealers and like eye primers. So we'll talk about eye primers first. First up, I've got the BAM Put a Lid on It. This is an eyeshadow primer. I don't really understand eye primers that are completely transparent, because for me, you want a primer to kind of block out any colour that you have on your eyelids. so you've got a really good base. So I'm going to pass this on because I don't like it and it just feels a bit greasy. I've then got the W7 Get Set eyeshadow base. I have used this a fair amount, as you can probably see. But to be honest, it's quite old, so I'm just going to pass it on. I never reach for it anymore. Then I have the Collection Primed and Ready Illuminating and Reviving Eye Primer. I got this recently and I haven't really had a chance to try it yet, so I will give it a shot. Again though, it feels like quite a translucent primer, so I'm not sure that I will like it. But actually I do quite like eye primer for my face, especially down my nose. It really helps foundation to tack on and stay, so I'll keep that for now. I kind of have a few categories of concealers. So concealers that I like for carving out my eyebrows, and then actual like coverage concealers. So one for carving out my eyebrows is this Makeup Forever concealing kit. This has what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shades in it, and this is in number 2. I picked this up in TK Maxx for about £7 and it's great. I actually do quite like this under my eyes too, but it's quite thick, so it's quite hard to blend out. But it's fantastic for carving out your brows, so I'll keep that. Another one I have for carving out my brows is the Freedom Pro Camouflage Paste. This is in the shade CF03. It's nice again for carving out brows, but I don't use it on my skin or like under my eyes. Next up I have an Anastasia Beverly Hills waterproof cream colour in the shade Honey. I tried to use this for carving out my brows, but it's just a bit too dark, and then it's too dark for concealer, so I don't really have a use for it, so I will just pass this on. In terms of brows and concealing, oh my goodness, look, I have the Bobbi Brown corrector. This is pretty much finished, so I'm just going to chuck this. That's in the shade Porcelain, but I really enjoyed that under my eyes and for brows as well. Moving on to concealers, I have just two of the LA Girl Pro Conceal. I wear the shade Porcelain. This stuff's incredible. So good that I wore it on my wedding day. I don't find it creases, it lasts well, and it generally works on top of any foundation. So I've got 2 of those and I'm keeping them both. One that doesn't get talked about that much is the Rimmel Match Perfection. I wear the shade 10 Ivory. This is a lovely, lovely concealer, and I'm definitely going to keep it until it's finished, and I'll probably will repurchase it then. This is probably my 3rd tube. Really love this, highly recommend. Nice coverage and good under your eyes as well. And then I have 2 Sephora concealers. This is the high coverage concealer. It's not high coverage at all. I don't understand how they can say that. It's nice enough, but I didn't feel it was high coverage, so I'm just going to pass that on. And then I have the Smoothing and Brightening Concealer. I think this is pants as well. It's just like nothing on your face. So I'm going to declutter that. Then I have 2 of the Collection Lasting Perfections. This is in the shade 1 and this is in Lemon. Both I use under my eyes. Cult classic concealer, amazing. What, £4.20 or something? Amazing. If you haven't tried it, you need to try it, because honestly the rumours are true. It's fantastic. Then I've got the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. This is in the shade 10 and I think this is the lightest shade they sell. Can you tell me if I'm just absolutely nuts? Is this the lightest shade that they sell? Because this is still too dark for me. As in for under my eyes, that's way too dark. Don't understand if I'm just nuts or weird, but this is too dark. I do like it for spot concealing on my face, because then it's not too dark, but for under eyes it doesn't work for me, so I don't know, I'm baffled. There must be a lighter shade, surely. And I've got my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I love this. This is in the shade NC20 and this is great. It doesn't crease, lasts all day, high coverage, highly recommend. And I have my Amazing Cosmetics Amazing Concealer in the shade Fair. Brilliant. This is industrial strength concealer. It's incredible. It's expensive for how much you get. This is tiny and it was like £25. But I do recommend it if you needed like an industrial strength concealer. It's really good. On that note, it's very similar to the Benefit Erase Paste. I don't know if they sell this anymore. I love this one. It's almost empty, so I'm just gonna keep it until I'm finished it. But I really like this. Shade number 1, brightening camouflage for eyes and face. Yeah, I love this, so I'm gonna keep that until it's finished. Like I said. Then I have the Freedom Pro HD Longwear Pro Artist White Concealer. This stuff's awesome. Obviously it's too white for me to just use on its own, but if I have a concealer that's slightly too dark for me, like the Maybelline, I mix these together. Or if you just want a super bright under eye, or if you're incredibly pale and you need a white concealer, this is awesome. This is only £5 I think, and I highly recommend it because it doesn't like, it adds coverage but it doesn't change how much you like your concealer that you're using it with. So yeah, I would recommend it, it's really cool. Then I have another Kiko concealer, and this is the Skin Tone Concealer number 2. I don't have anything good or bad to say about it, it's fine, it works. So I'm just gonna keep it until it finishes. It was only really cheap, like maybe £2 or £3. Then I have this really random Sleek Compact. This has 2 concealers and a powder in it. I'm gonna declutter this because I never reach for it anymore. I used to use it for carving my brows, but it was a bit too liquidy, even though it's like a cream highlight. I'm just gonna declutter this because yeah, I just don't reach for it anymore. Also in my concealer drawer, I keep my Benefit Shy Beam, which is the matte highlight. This is like the Dandelion range from Benefit, and I keep it in there because it is a matte highlight. And sometimes if I feel under my eyes is looking really dull, I'll put this under my eyes and blend it in, and it looks great. I really love this, but I use it in conjunction with concealing as opposed to as a highlighting product. So if you ever feel like you're quite dull under there and it just needs a bit of brightness, Benefit Shy Beam. Although it's quite expensive to just use it for that, but I like it, so I'm gonna keep it. So I think this video is probably long enough without adding my face powders in it, but if you want to see those, maybe I could do like face powders, bronzers and blushes all in one video if you want to see that. So just let me know down in the comments. Also please check out my eyeshadow palette collection, Declutter, highlighting, and then liquid lipsticks and lipsticks collection and declutter videos, which I will link down in the description box below. Follow me on Instagram, make sure to like and subscribe, and give me your firstborn child, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!